So I was just over at my local Starbucks, well, one of them that is, and a nerve-wracking thing happened. And within the past decade, sometimes when I get a blended drink, it doesn't really taste like it should, if you know what I mean. Sometimes it's too watery and you can't really taste like a mocha flavor. It just tastes like ice and such. Or sometimes it just has a weird taste to it. And what's nerve-wracking to me as an autistic is saying that, and it's like a lot of things go in my mind. One, I don't want them to think that I'm pulling a prank on them or something like that and having them to do more work and use more resources and such. That like never happened, just to say, but it's in my mind and I fear that to death. But and of course they're always kind of out. In fact, I know one of the baristas, well, I know a few of them actually, and I go in there a lot so they know me and such, and this is like 1 in 100. So that's what happened today. I was at Juice It Up like about a week ago, give or take, and I had to go all the way back and said, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this. And the person behind the cashier, she was very sympathetic, said, it's okay, go ahead and say what you want to say. And I'm like, this just tastes a little bit too watery and such, and so they just remade it for me and such. I guess if it happened like more than once in one day, then I think, yeah, something suspicious is happening, but you know, it's always nerve-wracking for me to say like, it just doesn't taste right, and I just would like another one. There was one time recently I was at another Starbucks after a haircut, and I personally just thought maybe I'll say an extra shot of espresso because I was just wanting to see how it tastes like in a mocha frappuccino. I will never do that again, and some people say, yeah, people put extra shots of espresso in cold blended drinks, but for me it did not taste like anything. It was a bit more bitter, and I'm like, okay, I learned a valuable lesson today. If I ever get extra shots of espresso, then it will be a hot drink. Here's an exclusive actually. I had this in my original book, but I took it out because my book was already long anyway. But in my short story about my speech impediment, I said that sometimes, and this happened a few times like 10 years ago before I really enunciated my speech, at a couple of Starbucks where I ordered a I said tall mocha frappuccino. This is how they heard it. Caramel frappuccino. And I hate caramel. Sorry, well, not totally, but I just don't like caramel, much less caramel frappuccinos. And there's one time I was over at Ralph's and I said I ordered a mocha frappuccino, not caramel. And she's like, I'm very sure that you said caramel frappuccino. And I'm like, I'm very sure I did not. And I realized tall mocha frappuccino may sound like caramel mocha frappuccino or whatever in an impediment like this. So I really learned to just enunciate and probably say the small one, right? Even though I know that they call it tall in Starbucks world. But if there is a bonus thing that happened today, I was standing outside Starbucks first, finishing like an Instagram message to a fellow plane spotter, and a person came out and said, hey, are you a teacher? And I'm like, yeah, well, a substitute teacher, and I actually subbed for him over at East Bluff Elementary School. I'm like, oh yeah, this teacher, yeah, I recognize you. Have a good summer. And he's like, have a good summer. And then when I was waiting, there's another student who looked very, very familiar, and we kind of saw each other for a second, and she had that look like she recognized me, so I think she was at Ensign Intermediate School, which happens all the time. I'm out in the neighborhood, and like hundreds and hundreds of people in the past year and a half have always said like, hello Mr. Kenslow, or the teacher, or something like that. Anyway, I hope that spoke to somebody. This is what some of us go through, and I read social media posts, and I know that a lot more people who have autism seem to have similar experiences, and I'm just trying to spread awareness and acceptance. So thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.